This is Brian Swan with BareBones Entertainment. And would you like to introduce your band?
Yeah, I'm Josie, and my band is Adopted.
So, how are you doing today, Josie?
Doing pretty good. Just chilling on a Saturday.
So, we first got introduced to you through your song Scared, and it's so good. So, for fans that may not have actually heard your music yet, how would you best describe your music?
I'd say it's like a progressive alt rock, some pop vibes in there, some screamo vibes, little mixture of the early 2000s.
Yeah, I could definitely get that from listening to it. And the scream caught me off guard. It was so good, fit so well with the song, and it's a very powerful song. What kind of started that process of writing that song for you?
I'd say it was written last year, just during the wake of all the protests with Black Lives Matters and just all the social injustice that we saw going on. I think that kind of just sparked it. It's got it going.
And with you having a bigger release coming out, is this kind of a theme through the songs, or is this just on this singular song? Is there a message through the whole release that you're working on?
It's mainly just within that singular song. But the album that's coming out is called Bedroom Wall. So I think it just depicts a lot of feelings and emotions, I went through, or what people go through when they kind of go through maybe a depressive state of mind, or they're just going through a lot, and they find themselves just in their rooms and in their thoughts, and it's where a lot of us experience a lot of different emotions. And I think that's what the whole set of songs kind of depict, just different emotions that we all feel, and just people can relate to it in their own ways as well.
And I know you mentioned that Scared was written made last year. Was the entirety of the album worked on last year? Because we know through the pandemic that is a time that was very tough on a lot of people. And I know you mentioned kind of the depression aspect of it. Was that something that just kind of all went together with the pandemic and people having to quarantine and the stuff we were seeing kind of taking over the country and everything too?
Yeah, I think a lot of it came together last year. There might have been a song or two or parts that have been written, maybe previous to last year and such, or 2020, now that we're in 2022.
Yeah, forget
that. Right. But yeah, a lot of it came together last year.
And aside from your music, through these quarantines, a lot of people picked up different things they may not have been doing before and learned new things. Was there any kind of new hobbies or anything that you picked up during these like kind of quarantining times?
Not so much. I picked up a camera, just tried to get into some photography. So just kind of been learning different things here and there to be able to try and create my own content and such. But I think really I was just writing music and just learning a lot through, new friends I made online, just during quarantine, just spent a lot of time in my room writing music. And I was on a Reddit forum, and I met this one dude that just wrote he had some dope pop punk stuff that he needed a singer over. And so I sang on one of his tracks, and then ended up singing on another one of his tracks, and he helped me with some writing on my music as well. So I think just a lot of time spent on it was just my hobbies were my music, just learning new things.
Yeah, that's exciting to have, kind of in a horrible situation, to be able to be given that kind of just, I guess, solitude to work on your passion. And that it's great that it didn't hurt the creativity, that you're able to be able to bring something so great out of it. And I know we're excited to hear the extent of this release. And I know you have a song coming out very soon. Is there any information you can give us on that?
Yeah, so it's coming out on Friday, the 14th, January. And so in about a week. And the song is called Believe It or Not. And the song just kind of talks about faith and just what other people believe, or what I've experienced in terms of just my own thoughts on religion and faith. And I think we all have, our own things that we believe in. And so I think the song just kind of touches on that. And so I think it's kind of, no matter where you sit and what you believe in is a song, I think that, believe it or not, everybody can relate to in some sense. And so I have a pre-save link up for that. You can find it on my socials. And I got a contest going on with that too. You pre-save, you enter to win a shirt. So
That's cool.
yeah. And then, so that's coming out on the 14th of January.
Definitely have to keep an eye out for that. And I know we touched on it briefly, and then everything that happened through 2020 with the protests and the injustices that we were seeing and everything. From your perspective, was that something that, because you kind of always hear the argument about racism wasn't a big deal until Obama or Trump or Biden or any of these kind of political figures.
Mhm.
Was this something that has always been this bad and people are just now opening their eyes to it in a broader spectrum? Or has it actually gotten worse?
I don't think it's gotten, I mean, it's such a touchy subject. And,
yeah, definitely.
And I don't know if it's gotten worse. And I think it's something that just through all the political things with, the presidents that we've had, I guess mainly Trump, but, I think it's just been an eye opener for a lot of people. And so I think it's something that's always been here. It's always been around. And I think now we're kind of working into, I guess, more people seeing it for what it is. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, this justice system is so fucked up. It's so fucked up, And I think it's just like, I don't know, it's hard to just really say if it's gotten worse or is it getting better, maybe, But it's been here for so long that it's one of the things that we've all lived with, and maybe now we're starting to make more change within it, And I think that's for, just a lot of things. Like, I don't know if it's, a whole generational thing. Like, I mean, I know it is, just being, I think, as everybody says, we're more woke, but I think it's just more so like we see how our parents grew up or we see how their parents grew up. And I think, I feel like our generation's grandparents, like if they're growing up in today's generation, I think it'd be who we are today. Like people that just want to make change and are, like with all the riots and protests that were going on, there was a lot more people out openly, I think more so than before, like showing their, I guess solidarity is the best term to put, So I don't know. I think it's always going to be an issue. I don't know if I think it's always going to get better, but I think it'll always be an issue.
Yeah, I know. One of the great things that I did see from it was just so many people being like, hey, this is a problem. And because it was being shown more widespread on like mainstream media and on the internet, where maybe some people that hadn't been close to it or really seen it themselves are seeing it more now and realizing that, hey, there are people that are having to live through these types of situations, and maybe they've been living through this for a long time and it just wasn't like their world, so they didn't notice or realize that it was that bad. So I think that is a great thing that it has seemed to bring some people closer together and people that are wanting to like help.
Yeah, made it more eye-opening for everybody, And that's good, something I think that needs to be happening.
With from your experience, because I know another thing that you always hear is that like children aren't born seeing it or experiencing it or anything. At what point for you was it something that you realized was something that you're going to have to experience, or was it just something that you've been told about early on and kind of knew that there was that situation? or is there anything that kind of, I guess, opened your eyes to the racism that you might face?
I think so. For me, I'm adopted, and so I am adopted by white people. So I grew up in a very white neighborhood, and so I don't think like for me it was something that was necessarily taught to me about, But I think it's something you just grow up experiencing it, and like you definitely get told certain things, like I feel like um I don't know, like I have a whole weird view on it, I guess, because I grew up with white people and one of my brothers is Hispanic too, so it's one of those things where I just always grew up in a very different scenario, and just um there's things that, like, like you have to sometimes act a certain way, or be a little bit different to sometimes either try to fit in, or like I'm not trying to get arrested or go to jail for anything, because like I know if I do something stupid, like it's gonna probably make my situation maybe even worse because I'm black, and so like I feel like for me, like sometimes I might have to be different to fit in, to make sure things are okay.
Okay. And do you feel that that's kind of affected you, like with the music that you make, or how you want to, I guess, express yourself creatively, where you're maybe that directed with you wanting to make music from, like what you've been saying, you make a lot of music that has a strong message and is meaning something to people. Um, do you feel like that's always the music that you've wanted to make, or have things you've experienced impacted you to go in that direction?
I would say like I don't know, a lot of music I make because it's just what it's just the vibe of what I grew up listening to. And I think that's kind of like just steered me to where I am with music. But in terms of like the lyrics, or, what I'm about, is just community, just everybody has a place that they belong, and if that, a lot of those people, like a lot of people in the music scene, like that's where they feel they're most accepted, like at a show, at a concert, and I think that's something how it's always been for us. And I think a lot of people don't always talk about their feelings, or their emotions, or things that they go through in life. And I want that to be something that, at the shows that we have, where, maybe you'll hear a story that's going to be different than a story you hear at a different, show. But the most important thing is just, everybody's welcome, everybody's loved, everybody's, there to feel that.
And I think that's a great thing with music is I know through all the quarantines, we weren't going to shows or anything. And late this past year, we went to like our first show back. That was like it was the Bayside Hawthorne Heights Census Phil show, and just being in the crowd felt like home.
Right.
It was so nice being there and just enjoying the music, seeing people that are singing with it, and just share
going
this
all
love
out.
for the music.
Yeah. It's such
Great
a great feeling. Yeah. It's such a dope feeling. Like you're in the crowd with like people you don't know, but you feel that you're friends with, and you're just all singing the same songs. And it's definitely a feeling that if you haven't experienced it yet, you should.
Most definitely. And I know it's great, like with the music, that it does bring that sense of community. And from, I know what you've described with your music, it's awesome that it's something where anyone can relate to it, where you make it very relatable. And I love a good relatable song that you listen to and you're like, hey, they're talking about me. Like that's always great when you listen to a song like that.
Yeah. Makes you remember the song more, or it, like it's that period of time that you're going through in life where that song just hits. And so that'll always have like, that song will always have that feel, or that, that memory for you.
Do you have a specific song for you that is always that strong memory for you?
Yeah, it's a song called Stay that'll be coming out on the record. And that song just kind of, it was when I was going through just a really bad depressive state. My grandma passed away, and so she was like my best friend. So you go through so much when you lose a loved one, and that song just really talks about it. And it's, one of those songs where I think you can definitely have a feeling about. And I've had that even with, other friends that write music. Like, I'll be listening to it and I'll be like, yo, is this what that song's about? And they're like, dude, like, how'd you know? And it's like just a feeling that you get. And Stay just represents that for me.
Well, that's one that I'll definitely be looking forward to checking out, because I know we actually lost a grandparent in 2020 and everything that definitely affected the family a lot. And so I feel like that one's definitely going to be a really powerful one there, especially knowing like your experience writing it and everything too. Then I definitely think that one's definitely going to really hit. And
Yeah.
with the releases that you've put out so far for this, what have the kind of response been from people?
It's been good. People like it. It's a lot different than like stuff I'd written in the past too. So a lot of people that were into that band are like just having really positive things to say about it. And just in general, people that have heard it, just like the screams for me, for like, for example, in Scared, just like the screams are like definitely something I developed last year. So it was one of those things like, oh, does it sound like shit? Like showing it to a couple friends, like, yo, like, be honest, like, how does it sound? Like, dude, this sounds good. I'm like, shit. So maybe I can kind of scream, So you keep working on that, and there's that comes through in a couple of the other songs as well. But I think Scared is one of the fun songs that are out there that people have been able to relate to and just vibe with.
Well, you can definitely scream. Is that kind of a direction that you're looking to kind of implement moving forward, like when like called for in a song, or do you kind of do something different with each release?
Yeah, not every song has screaming on it. I think it's something that it'll be incorporated in the moments that seem fit, or maybe trying to get a tone, when you try to get a tone to come through in the song, like throwing a scream here or there, something like that. So definitely some of the songs have some more aggressive vocals in them.
And what is your plan kind of after this release?
Probably put out like another music video too, play some shows, get some shows going, maybe do a little West Coast run of just, hitting those nice spots, but mainly just promote, write some more songs and release those, and yeah.
And through the quarantines and everything, have you been able to play a show since those, or planning something afterwards would be your first shows back?
Yeah, so Adopted's a new project that just got released in October of 2021. So the shows that we do play, hopefully maybe in April, March or April, those will be our first shows. So that'll be a good feeling for those of us to take the stage, because it's been a while for sure.
So the one thing that I'm always kind of curious about is, after having kind of been away and through the lockdowns and stuff, and I know we've talked about being in a crowd at a show, what do you think would be going through your head before stepping out on stage for a first show after all of this?
I think so. It's a little different, because for me it'll be the whole just having played a show for a long time versus the feeling a lot of other people are feeling is like, damn, we're playing shows all the time and then all of a sudden we just stopped. Like, I think that's a very different feeling than everything else for me, because it's just been like, it'll be a good feeling to be able to play a show just in general. So I think a lot of it won't necessarily be, my feelings won't necessarily be based on like pandemic vibes. More so just the fact of being able to do it, because
Especially being a new project.
yeah, and just like people at shows, like I've been going to a lot of shows, and I'm like, anytime a tour gets announced that I'm trying to go to, I'm like buying tickets right then and there. Like whether or not it might get canceled again, but I think we're all just trying to go to shows and like be in it right now. I think we're trying to take advantage of what we really missed out on, what really meant a lot to us. So I think right now any show people are playing is just a great feeling overall.
I definitely think that just being out there for like any show right now is just great vibes throughout the whole crowd, and on stage it looks like performers are having a really fun time being back out there again and interacting. So I
Yeah.
know definitely going out there and being able to play your new songs and introduce people to this project definitely will have to be an exciting time.
Yeah, it will. It'll be a good time.
So what is the best way for fans to reach out to you? That might be checking out your new music, or wanting to keep up to date on when the possibility of a show might be.
Yeah, I would say Instagram, Twitter, and of course Facebook, but I'd say Instagram and Twitter are probably my most active ones. And that's just Adopted Rock. So at Adopted Rock. I'm always posting on there. So when shows start to happen, you'll hear on those sites.
We'll definitely be keeping an eye out on your releases, and I know we're really excited for when the whole album drops and being able to check all that out and kind of hear it in its entirety, because from the singles that are released, we're loving it, and
Thanks.
definitely comes through that you're really enjoying the project. So we're liking it too. Was there anything else you might like to say to your fans out there?
I got nothing, Have a good day, I'm just gonna say it, smoke one up and have a good day. Enjoy it.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you.